Hello, this is Jerome Cinco, and this is my journal article presentation. The topic I'm going to be discussing is the epidemiology of tuberculosis. The existing problem is the spread of tuberculosis as an epidemic. Majority of the population is having tuberculosis as one of their effective disease, having a greater impact over the population and lives of people. This is considered as an important issue to the study as it represents the major difficulties people are facing due to this epidemic. The significance lies in the concept of improving the health and values of the society. The vital objective of the study is to incorporate the major findings that will be helpful in reducing the epidemic of tuberculosis. Reducing the dilemma of tuberculosis from society with proper measures, defining the values of epidemiological studies for reduction of health issues, acknowledgement of proper methods of health issue prevention. The population selected for the study are the general people or inhabitants of the society, as well as healthcare professionals from different healthcare centers. As the authors are trying to generalize their findings, the population are selected randomly based on two considerations: people who are affected by tuberculosis, staff of different healthcare organizations working for preventing the disease outspread. This study can be considered as one mixture of two different types, which are cohort and case control. This study also incorporates the evaluation of clinical trials. The study that is a disorder of health-related symptoms and persistent after one set is noted as a cohort study. Again, as the disease is spreading like an epidemic, the situation lies as a case control study. Clinical trials have also been included within the same, as the results and measures are considered after an accurate clinical trial, as well as countermeasures. This section includes a description of the study via different parametric descriptions, such as the size of the samples, recruitment strategies, inclusion criteria, exclusion criteria, and randomization. All these parameters are stated for the detailed description of the study. Sample size. The selected sample size is 100, as 100 respondents are selected for the study. Majority of the respondents are people inhabiting within the society and having tuberculosis. 50% of the samples are staff and healthcare professionals of different healthcare centers who are participating in the treatment actions for preventing and reducing the risk factors of this disease. Recruiting strategies. The recruiting strategies are a selection of the samples based on their experience of the disease being studied. The majority of the people selected includes tuberculosis, and the rest of the samples are healthcare professionals having experience in prevention measures of the disease. Inclusion criteria. The inclusion criteria of the samples are variable with the measures of tuberculosis. For the patients who are taken as samples are affected with tuberculosis disease. For the healthcare professionals who are taken as samples, as the criteria of more than 5 case experience with the study disease, so that all the findings may come out should be accurate to the facts. Inclusion criteria. The exclusion criteria for selection of candidates include no experience with the study topic for the professionals and random people who do not have tuberculosis. Randomization. Randomization is done at the time of sampling, as randomization is helpful for the selection of candidates from diversified backgrounds. The randomization is helpful for the study, as diversified insights can be collected using differential resources. The resources are taken from the technicality in the selected study and the methodologies. The methods are useful for different findings that can come from methodological persuasions. Control group. Yes, there was a control group acting towards a study for incorporating useless inclusions. Mainly the exclusions were measured by the control group. The control group was placed in different demographic places, as the control groups were there to control the selected respondents. Variation was descriptive for the control group, as the control group was examining any unethical activities as well as sample control. Different statistical analysis were performed during the study. Was conducted. The statistical analysis included are AUC, SRD, and NNT. AUC is the measurement of probability, as the AUC is the probability for a low-risk individual will include a better outcome than high-risk one. Any type of tie is broken with the help of a fair coin toss. Formula is below. SRD is abbreviation for success rate difference. It is the measurable difference between the probability of high-risk individual and a low-risk individual. Although the counters are argued as higher risk will have better outcome than low risk, the calculation of the measurements are done as below. NNT stands for the number needed to take, and the formula is below. The results are mainly univariate, as the co-founders are unable to control the results, rather than multivariate, in which the results are controlled for potential co-founders. Hence, the results are taken as the best possible result for the accurate statistical analysis techniques. Results are considered univariate for the preferability of the differential measures. It can be concluded that depending on the statistical analysis as well as measurement techniques, the results are assumed to be the best possible result, as the professionals have put much effort in the examination for this disease and the reasons behind the spread of the disease. The populace chose for the investigation are the general individuals or occupants of the general public, just as human services experts from various social insurance focus. The indispensable goal of the investigation is to fuse the real discoveries that will be useful in diminishing the prevalence of tuberculosis and will viably decrease the existence danger of tuberculosis. The current issue is spreading out of tuberculosis as a plague. The dominant part of the populace is having tuberculosis as one of their compelling ailments, having a more prominent effect over populace and lives of individuals. This is considered as a significant issue to the examination, as it speaks to the real challenges individuals are looking because of this scourge. The noteworthiness lies in the idea of improving the well-being estimations of society, just as societal qualities. Yes, I totally agree with the conclusions, as the conclusions are accurate to the facts of parametric calculation for the solutions. The conclusion is also helpful for any future statistical analysis regarding health-related issues. Biasness and flaws. The study did not incorporate any biases toward the examination. It was examined by the high-end professionals of healthcare services. The biases were reduced to zero using the control groups, where the control groups were included for developing countermeasures regarding unethical conduct within the examination of the study. The people decided for the examinations are the general people or inhabitants of the overall population, similarly as human administration specialists from different social protection centers. The biases were diminished to zero utilizing the control gatherings, where the control bunches were incorporated for growing countermeasures in regards to unscrupulous direct inside examination of the investigation.